Right, welcome Chesil class. This is mainly for the year twos and we're going to go over fractions. We're going to try and cover everything to do with fractions, so it might be a case of pausing the video at certain points to do the work that's been set for you, and you can always come back to the latter part of the videos a little bit later on. So let's have a go. First of all, let's start by drawing some fractions or making some fractions on the board. Okay, you will notice that all of these have a 1 on the top, and it's the number on the bottom that's different. They just happen to go up in ones. It's just the way I've written it. Okay, so we call these unit fractions. Unit means 1, so these all have 1 on the top. Okay, if we have a look at this one here, the number on the top is called the numerator, and the number on the bottom is called the denominator. Don't worry too much about this. It mainly comes in when you're doing fractions in year 3 and year 4. So those are unit fractions. Then we have ones which don't have a 1 at the top, like this. Okay, so we don't have, the numerator is not a 1, the denominator is the same as those really. You could have 3/5 as well if you wanted to. Okay, so we call these non-unit fractions because there is not a 1 on the top. Okay, so the first part of the video will be looking at the unit fractions. The second part of the video will be looking at finding non-unit fractions. We're going to focus on amounts. You're really good at doing shapes, so we're just going to focus on amounts in this video. There are other fractions where the top is the same as the bottom. Okay, and we call these a whole, or whole fractions. And that's basically because if you did have a shape, okay, and we split it into half, we've got 2 halves is the whole. Okay, so there are 3 different types of fractions that we as year 2s need to know. Right, I did say we were going to focus on the unit fractions to start with, so I'm going to keep that up there. We're going to focus on finding a unit fraction of an amount. So I want to find half of 8 to start with. Okay, so this is just division. We've done division. This is just division. So we can do half of 8 is the same as, that is our total, and this bit here, this bit down here, that's the number of groups we need. So if I wanted to, I could record this as a number sentence. 8 divided into 2 groups, which we did last YouTube video. So here's my 2 groups. Divide 8 into those 2 groups. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8 divided by 2 equals 4. So 8 is the total. 2, that's the number of groups that we're going to need to divide into. And the 1, that's how many groups we're interested in for our answer. So that's the 1 group there. Let's try it with a different one. You can play along with me now. So you can pause the video and fill it in as we go. So we're going to start off, we'll do a half. No, we're not going to do a half again this time. We'll do a quarter. So this time we've got a quarter of, let's keep it the same, a quarter of 8. So this is our total. That's the number of groups we have. So our division calculation will be 8, because remember, division, you always start with the biggest number, divided by 4 groups, or divided into 4 groups. So pause the video and draw your 4 groups. So here's the 4 groups. Okay, and we're going to divide the 8 into it. So again, you can pause it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. How many's in one group? Well, 8 divided by 4 equals 2, because we've got 2, 2, 2, 2. If the numbers aren't equal, we can't divide it, or you've made a mistake somewhere. Okay? So you wouldn't be able to find a quarter of 7, for example, because 7 doesn't divide into 4 groups. Let's try another one. Bigger number this time. Let's do 1/3 of 21. So remember, 21 is our total. 21. We're going to divide it into the denominator, the number on the bottom, so that's 3. And we're going to find the answer. So we need our 3 groups again. 1, 2, 3. And we're going to put our 21 dots in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Okay? We are interested in one group. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's just double check the others. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Now, if you're really good with your times tables, especially your 2s and maybe your 5s, and we have done thirds and we have done 4s as well, you might realise that 3 times 7 equals 21. So you'd be able to find the answer that way, but that's another thing. And that really is it for unit fractions. So what you'll find, if you've got the bigger number is the total, it's the number on the bottom is the number of groups you're going to need, and you're going to count how many there is in one group. Now, the same applies to non-unit fractions. Okay, so let's take 2/3, for example, and let's do 2/3 of 12. Same rules apply. Here is our total. So we're going to do 12. We can't write a division sign this time, and I'll explain why in a minute. 12 divided by the number on the bottom. So we're still going to need 3 groups. 1, 2, 3. And we're still going to divide our 12 into those 3 groups. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. The difference between this one is that 2. So instead of needing the 1, we're counting how many's in one group, we're counting in 2 groups because it's 2/3. So then you want to put a bigger circle around 2 of the groups and count how many dots you've got in the red circle you've just drawn. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 equals 8, which is why we couldn't do it as a division, because we can't do 12 divided by 3 equals 8, because that doesn't work. What you'd be doing is 12 divided by 3 equals finding the answer 4 and then multiplying it by 2. 4 times 2 equals 8. But that is a very long-winded way of doing it. We're taking a shortcut. Okay, so you do the first bit as you would have done before, 12 divided by 3, and then you're going to put a second circle in around the number of groups you had. So let's try it with another one. Let's try it with 3/4. 3/4 of 16 equals. So you can do this one with me. What's our total? 16. So that's how many dots we're going to start with. We've got to share them out. How many groups are we sharing it into? Number on the bottom, 4. So here's my 4 groups. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay? So, one lot of 16 is 4. We're after 3 lots of 16. Which is 3 groups. And we count them all. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 3/4 of 16 is 12. So I can do all 4 of these. I could do 1/4 of 16. That's one group, which is 4. 2/4 of 16 is this, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I've already done the 3/4 one, so what about the 4/4? Because we can do that as well. 4/4 of 16 equals, and that would be all 4. So remember, that's the same as a whole. So what would the answer be? Well, it's going to be 16. So we've got 4, 8, 12, 16. Now look at that, we're counting in 4s, which is the number on the bottom there. And that really is it. There's not much else you need to know about fractions, unit fractions and non-unit fractions at this moment in time. You might get some more complicated word problems with them in, and it's the way it does it. So it could be there are 16 beads. Okay, half are red, 1/4 are blue, the rest are green. How many blue beads, how many red beads, and how many green beads are there? Well, let's see if we can work this out then. So let's do the nice easy one first. 1/2 of 16. So 1/2 of 16. 16 is our total, 2 is the number of groups. Let's count it out. Or you can do 16 divided by 2. 1. Oh, shouldn't have done that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Remember, it's a 1 on the top, so we're just interested in one of the groups, which means that the answer is 8. Here we've got 1/4 are blue, so we know that there are 8 red beads. 1/4 of them are blue, so 1/4 of 16 equals, we've just done that, so 4 groups, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, sorry to confuse you, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So the answer is 4. So there are 4. So we've got to work out how much is left. So if we've got a circle, we've done half of them, because that's the red ones. We've done a quarter, so that's the blue. So we've still got a quarter left. So a quarter of 16, again, is the same as up there. So we have 8 red, 4 blue and 4 green. The way you can check it is by adding them up. 8, 4, 4, well 4 and 4 is 8, 8 and 8 is 16, lots of doubling. And that would be a typical word problem for year 2. Okay, right, that's the end of the video. That should mean that you can do any of the fractions questions from last week's homework or this week's homework, or whenever you decide to do it. I hope you've learned something, and good luck with the rest of your maths booklets. Well done, everybody.